I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Hello everyone and welcome to another flight from the Glide Slope channel, and today we're back to Emergency Dispatcher Pro Part 2. So today we are going to try again to use this software, and we are using a very special aircraft because today I'm going to get to fly this beautiful helicopter you're seeing right now. This is the TAOG Hangar AS-365 Dauphin, or if you want, the MH-65 Dolphin. And today we are flying the Dolphin. So this is the American assembled Eurocopter, now Airbus AS-365, so they called it the MH-65. It's just an American variant of the venerable Dauphin. Even if you don't know your helicopters, you will agree this is one of the most beautiful helicopters ever designed. The Fenestron trail is just beautiful. The long, sleek nose and the very rounded and beautiful fuselage. Great contrast to every other helicopter that exists out there. In fact, modern helicopters are coming back to this design. So the brand new Eurocopter helicopters that are coming out, or the Airbus helicopters, better said, are all coming down to this, not exactly this design, but very, very similar designs. Because yes, it's beautiful. If it can be functional and beautiful at the same time, why not, right? So here we are, sitting on the deck at the beautiful U.S. Coast Guard San Diego base. And, well, the base itself is not beautiful. What I mean is the San Diego Bay. It's beautiful. And even more beautiful, I think, is this amazing helicopter. This is a very capable helicopter. However, I've been talking with a few real-life pilots of this helicopter variant, and they all say they all prefer that one. Even in the Coast Guard, they prefer the Seahawk or the Jayhawk, which is the MH-60 variant, MH-60 Tango. They all prefer the MH-60 Tango compared to the Dauphin. Why? Mainly range, as I've been told, but also because this helicopter is very, very limited in terms of robustness. You know, the MH-60 has a lot more room, can do a lot more missions. The Dauphin can basically perform rescue, so search and rescue, and some interdictions, maybe that. And today I'm using, well, the wrong paint apparently. This is the Miami-based Dauphin. I'm not sure if there are any Dauphins in San Diego, to be honest. But hey, here we are. Let's not go into the details. Um, yeah, so let me just load Emergency Dispatcher Pro. Give me a second here. So you know Emergency Dispatcher Pro runs outside of Flight Sim, so we have to load it first, but it's just that, it's just loading. All right, done. Now we don't need it anymore. The program is loaded in the background. You can't see it, but now we don't need it. But first, before we go into the nitty and gritty of the missions themselves, we need to prep our helicopter. Let's look around. This is a very beautiful helicopter, like I said earlier. And as you can see, we need to remove the the blade protections as well as the pitot and all the sensors. Just walk around the cabin, really have a good look at all the covers that need to be removed. Make sure that there are no covers on the engines. So there are two engines. You can actually have a look at them on the other side. Stand by. Let me go the other way. I've been flying this helicopter for the past few days. I confess that I've been a little delayed because of the A220. I've been flying the A220 quite a bit, but here I am. I actually have this helicopter for almost 2 weeks, or maybe less, but some around 2 weeks. Oh yeah, we can also open it from here. Beautiful detail on the engine. There are a lot more details. You can also open the cargo compartment. If you purchase this helicopter, it's a bit pricey, but you will get two variants. You get the AS365 and the MH65, this one we're seeing right now. And you get also different versions of the helicopter. You get the civilian and the military, as well as the MedEvac and ambulance versions of it. And there's a lot of different features for the outside details, which we'll go through in a moment. But right now, we're just making sure that we get everything checked out. So this helicopter only has one main door on the cabin. I mean, both sides, as you can see. But this helicopter is capable, well, the main variant of this helicopter is capable of having 6 doors in total for passengers, and each row will have each door, so it will be 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. This particular one is actually equipped with a flotation device. I'm not sure if this is correct English here. I think it's flotation. Well, float out of floating. Maybe it's correct. Maybe I'm the one incorrect thinking. And here's the almighty Fenestron engine. Very powerful engine. Very distinct sound as well. So what's the advantage of having a Fenestron? There's a lot of advantages actually. It's not just for safety, but it's actually it helps a lot in performance. So since the rear rotor is encased, not only will you be able to reduce sound by quite a bit, you also have the help of this huge tail here that, if you can see from, let's see if I can make it, well, almost there. I think you can notice it's not 100% straight. It has an inbuilt angle to it. This helps with stabilizing the helicopter as well. That's a characteristic of the tail, but the Fenestron itself is actually more effective. It saves fuel because there's less drag into the rear rotor, and of course there's a matter of safety because it's safer to have a contained blade than having a free rotating blade. And yeah, but I believe the biggest advantage that, hello Drexy, welcome. The biggest advantage for all of the Fenestron is sound. So its sound suppression is quite effective. But of course, the main rotor is a big chunk. And there's Betsy. Hey, Betsy. Say hi. Betsy? We should be equipped with the orange overalls, like our diver there, but hey. Overall, the design from TAOG Hangar is absolutely flawless. I see no flaws in this helicopter whatsoever from the paint job. This is an original default livery for the US Coast Guard. There are many other liveries, including one for San Diego. If I had known, I had downloaded. But it is a beautiful job on the details. This used to be, and I think it still is somehow, one of my favorite helicopters of all time. And getting to fly it in flight sim after all this time is an amazing thing. I'm searching now for the ground power connection because I don't think we can connect it from the outside. I think it's on this side. So this is the fuel. I think we need to connect it here somewhere. All right, let's just go into the chopper and we'll handle that later. Here we are on board the amazing Dauphin. Now, first things first. We are very close to the hangar's doors and there's another helicopter there. We need to move this helicopter to a proper position. So how do we do that? Well, we got our little we got two EFBs. I'll explain. So this is the default Microsoft Flight Simulator EFB. You can actually interact with it by looking at sim brief charts and all that. But most importantly, you can use it to connect to Emergency Dispatcher Pro. That's the reason why I have this one here, and it will be used exclusively for that. We'll get to it in a moment. Now, regarding this one, this is the main helicopter EFB, and it's amazing because you can move it to various different positions around the cockpit. To be honest, I don't know how to remove it back into the sleeve. But look at this, you can actually move it around and have it affixed to your helicopter. I usually keep it right there where it is right now. It's a good position for it. Doesn't block anything, any view. We also are equipped with the GTN 750. We'll go through it. It's basically what you would find on the Citation jets and all that. Pretty handy, although for today's flight we'll not be using it. But if you want to fly IFR, this is the one to use. This is all optional. You can use Microsoft's or Sobo's GNS 530, the default GPS system. Now, regarding our position. So we need to move this. And you guys have seen the Falcon 50. It attaches a little toe. Unfortunately, we don't have a little toe, but we do have this. So we can move. Oh, we need to remove the parking brake first. We can move our little helicopter anywhere we want. So let's move it back. I need to turn on track IR so I can see where I'm going. So we're moving back. And track IR just died. Usual thing. There we are. Back at it. Again, just move back. Now we are going to move it a little clockwise. All right, that's good enough. We're clear from the, we can look outside. We are clear from the hangar, which we can move a little back so we can be right at the helipad in our, so let's move here, move back. Oh, as soon as I look away, it stops. That's a bummer. All right, that's about it. That's good enough, I think. Yeah, that's all right. All right, so pretty cool, pretty handy, especially because you don't really know where you'll be spawn in. And now let's take a quick look. I'm not going to go be too exhaustive on this. The intention today is to fly a mission. It's not really to look at helicopter. So you see here, these are the options. So we got an FMS, the GTN 750, which is the one we got, or the GTN XI 750, which is another developer of a GPS machine. Coming back here, we got the exterior. So this is where you want to connect, for example, the external power. There it is. There's, by the way, I just want to see where does it connect. Oh, it's right there. It's right there beneath the nose. All right. So I didn't know that. Now I know. So we connected the external cart. We don't have anything turned on. That's why we don't have any power to the aircraft yet. But we have the pre-flight covers, which we already removed, as well as the blade socks, those little thingies. You know what I'm talking about, these things. You can also fold the blades, but for that, um, you need to tie them down first and then it will fold. I'll not do that because the animation takes a little long to operate. You can also add a FLIR pod. It's non-functional as far as I can see. It's just cosmetic. In fact, I want to remove the mirror because, you know, Flight Sim 2024 does not jive that well with mirrors, and it's the last one thing to worry about. So we can install the ISIL infrared system or the ISIL searchlight. So basically this is a visual light, this is an infrared light, mainly for combat operations. It's a filter. We got the external battery, we already could figure that much. The fuel jettison system, this is a very funky nozzle that is equipped beneath the helicopter. I've never seen how this works, so I would assume it's just a way for you to dump fuel if you do need it. Um, is it necessary? I don't think it is. You just can't dump fuel without it. But the helicopter is already have a bad range. If you want to dump fuel, you'll have a bad time. You can also have the Bambi bucket to fire forest fires or any other fires. We can also have the fast rope rack. This is mainly for military operations. You can also have the option to have the HH-65B radome. This is the C version, but you can, if you want, you can add the radome and see it opens. Oh, no, that's not. It's open and close the radome. It's written there, John. Come on, wake up. And also the snow skates for snow operations. Pretty cool. Lots of options. As for gameplay, I would advise you that you go through this very extensively because this helicopter flies really well, but it is very responsive. So you need to be careful. You need to program stuff really well. I had to program the trim release button, and they have a very cool manual to explain what you need to do. This is where you control your what you take on board. So if you have this is to open doors, and also hold on a second, I'm in the wrong page, am I? Yeah, this is that. What I'm talking about is weight and balance. What I mean here on doors and hoist, it's just doors. So this is my door. It's currently open, correct? And the rear doors, we'll need to open those for the operations we're about to embark. And then we got our SAROPS. So if you need to lower the hoist, so the diver, you need to start it here and it will self-animate. You don't really need a mission to do it. In fact, I've done it a couple of times just for the kicks, and it's pretty cool. You can do it anywhere in the world and it works really well. Coming down here, we've seen the helicart, so we just tow the helicopter where we want, and this is where I was talking about. So this is what you take on board in terms of weight. So if you want to take extra cargo, if you want to take fuel tanks, so like right now we're going to fill in the fuel. So apparently it doesn't go beyond 97% for some reason. Yep, it stays there 97%. So this is real time, and there are different presets. So there's full, extended range, which is not operation right now because you need an extra fuel tank, which we don't have right now, or firefighting. So this is configured for search and rescue, so it doesn't carry the extra fuel. All right, and this is the FTS shortcut. So the FTS is down here, and where is it? Oh, this is a different positioning for this helicopter. So I've been flying the AS365, and things are a little different. There it is. So We have the hover modes, and there's also so the RNAV, TAC, course, heading. All of this is to control the autopilot. The plane flies really well, and these are the autopilot modes. The helicopter flies really well without autopilot, so you can fly manually pretty well with it. All right. As for the variant, this is the V2 or Gen 2. So this helicopter does not have a FADEC system, and that can be troublesome, as you will see, because you need to be very careful starting your engines or you can have a hot start. So without further ado, let's start everything. So I'm going to just adjust the lights even though we don't have power yet. I just want to put this to work. So hoist to pilot, anti-collision light, external lights to normal, avionics fan to on, cabin light to arm, and we just leave the heaters as is. So engine NTI is not required for today. Anticipators are set to norm. Tail hydraulics and vertical instruments all set to norm. Wipers are off. Pitot heat, we'll turn it on as soon as we got power to the aircraft. Everything looks fine. All right. So what do we do now? We're going to turn on the alternators. We're going to turn on the generators, even though we don't have batteries should already be on. So the first thing are the batteries actually. We're going to turn on the buses for both pilot and co-pilot. We're going to have some warning lights. That's perfectly fine. It means the autopilot is not powered yet. We can just turn them all on. Here we go. All right, so everything is fine. The generators are of course failing. That's okay. We can remove the landing gear pin. It's going to be placed right here so we don't forget about it. And I think that's cool. So our GTN 750 is turned on. For some reason the icons on that side weren't loaded. Now they are loaded. Looks cool. So electric pump, we are going to leave it there. Emergency float to off. We're going to need to turn them on if we're flying over the ocean, which we will. So we got the transfer, fuel transfer. It's going to be, this is all manual, just checking the quantity. Cool. Engine fire tests, we're not going to do that for now. So nav control, we got the HSD already. All right, we're good to go. Now, let's start it up first and then we'll load the mission so we can save a little fuel. Okay, looks cool. Let's start our engines now. So let's start with number 1. What am I missing? Stand by. What am I missing? So we got everything up. Oh, we need to batteries on. Yeah. Alternators. Oh, we need to turn on the. What am I missing? So this is the cross feed. I thought the helicopter was similar, but apparently it isn't. There are differences here. So the fuel cutoff switches are forward as well as the rotor brake. We should be able to, oh, stand by. I just don't have no sound, do I? There it is. Here we go. So start number 1. And we need to close the door, of course. Just, oh, I think I know what's going on. I don't have the switches. above 40 RPM, we can release the starter and inject some more fuel. Slowly but steadily. Yeah, these are the warnings, absolutely normal. So, to settings, controls, and if you search HH-65, you see that you have specific helicopters settings for this helicopter. So AS65. All right, so now you notice that I have nothing assigned, so I need to load my previously saved settings, which doesn't appear that I got any of those. So what we need basically is the trim release. So you press and release. So you, oh, sorry, that's the Avo Viper. There it is. So the trim release, you press it, and okay, and you press it again, and you see that it's duplicated. It's fine. You're going to say that this one, it's the release one. You're going to set control on release. That's basically the most important one you'll require. There's also a few others, but this one is the most important one. And apparently, if you create it on the AS365, it will not save for this helicopter. So now I'm using my trim, and oh my god, it's a nightmare. So what does this button do? Basically, the helicopter has a self-trimming system, autopilot, or a stability augmentation system if you want. And what you do is, when you're flying it, you interrupt that to adjust any position, and when you release it, as well go to the last known position actually. Just turn in and fly towards it and restart a search pattern. Maybe now going to where I've not been yet. survivor. I think that's it. And if the survivors are on board, you get this care page here where you look at them and you see their conditioning, you check their blood pressure and all that. I believe this is a bit much for what we can do as a pilot, but it is cool nevertheless. Alright, we're coming back to our course here, so we're going to turn right now. Helicopter always wants to climb for some reason. also somehow different. The starters, which are situated here on the AS365, are here, right top front. So that's why I was getting along with starting the engine. I also lost my keybinds, so that's something I need to review in the near future. But yeah, I would assume that I lost it for some reason, and that the helicopter does not would share the bindings between versions. I don't think it does, but Guard station and telling them that we're on the arrival pattern. Since I'm not familiar with the Coast Guard arrival pattern for this particular airbase, I'm going to just perform a visual safety approach via this bay here, San Diego Bay. Going around the airbase, the military airbase is probably not good to fly over, even though the Coast Guard is a military organization. simulating unloading of the crew. Mission complete. Debrief. Alright. So while I am going to check on the debrief to show you guys, let me just set it up here. Open the debrief window for you guys. Give me a second. Alright. Here we go. So this is our debriefing for the mission. We got a very satisfactory score, 69.7, and as you can see, our flight wasn't as smooth as it should. So this is where I found the boat, and then I went north for no reason at all, except for not believing that was a ship. But anyway, we got in there. We deployed our swimmer, and apparently no one wanted to come. So what happened? Biggest drivers to score, approach score reduction, stabilize early, whatever. These are just advice, and this is it. Precision and airmanship. So where did I lose points? Approach score reduction. So we didn't perform we didn't call in to make the approach. Big score reduction, minus 32.3 points. That's big. And a late dive on the approach. Apparently it didn't really. The biggest score here was on the approach, which is crazy. Biggest score loss. So here's what happened. So safety, swimmer bypassed. Something I may have done that might have caused the swimmers not to come with the survivors on board. That could be an issue. So lots of abrupt acceleration. These were mainly caused by the helicopter itself. I apologize, but that wasn't me. And there's some penalties, excessive banks. So one of the banks, it was my doing, but the other one was again the helicopter abrupt acceleration. There again, all of these were issues with the helicopter itself, to be honest. And yeah, so nothing here about why the patients weren't brought in. Yeah, nothing here about the patients not brought in. And I think it's this swimmer bypassed. So there's no actual debriefing, written debriefing on what happened. So it's hard to say. But I'm completely sure that if there were anybody to rescue, we would have rescued. We would have brought in one by one. Since that didn't happen, I can only assume that the system didn't work. Not the system. I mean the divers just didn't want to come back on. I don't know. Anyway, there's our debriefing. And I really like this kind of missions. There are multiple to choose, as you know. Let's go back to the helicopter and we'll talk about it a little more. There are multiple mission types to choose, and this is a great thing about it, because you can, of course, stand by. What's going on? You guys are seeing the Emergency Dispatcher Pro instead of seeing Flight Sim. Yeah, you are. So let's go back in and I'll show you again how to set up a mission on board your helicopter. You just come here to General, select the station, select the helicopter, select what type of mission you want. So there's a lot you can see here. You can you have random, You have a highway accident where you land near an accident spot. Special mountain rescue. We did this last time. Land patrol, so you kind of go around and patrol a certain area. A ditched aircraft on land, ditched aircraft on water. Offshore, MedEvac. Vessel SAR, so an overdue ship. This is the one we just did. We got a vessel SAR distress. This one, I believe the ship will fire a flare. Vessel interdiction, so environmental patrol. Vessel seizure, this one is pretty cool, but it's a little hard to it's a little I don't like militarized these militarized missions because there's no actual action, so it's kind of a gimmick. And maritime patrol, so all of these can be performed by helicopters, but if you choose an airplane, these missions will now think about there will be airplane oriented, although some of them, so like an highway accident, you can't really do much on an airplane. So this is preferably with helicopters, and this is what's been designed for. But you can fly planes. I mean, you can choose the fighter jets to intercept, for example, which can be cool if you're into those things. Yeah. So one more time, should you get the TAOG MH-65 or SAS-365, guys, if you're into helicopters, this is a great addition. But remember, don't be like me. Read the manual thoroughly. I did read the manual. Just don't be like me, not making sure your settings are correct before you come fly. It is a breeze to fly once it works, because I've managed to make beautiful flights with this helicopter. Something happened with my assignments. I tried just to set off the trim, but that's about it. That's it. Just final advice, remember to load a flight plan at least in and out of your air station, so you can have traffic around you, even if you don't interact with ATC. So you can have traffic injection, that's always a plus. If you want ATC, that's even better, but I don't think ATC can control you from this specific spot here, but if it does, awesome. Yeah, and choose the helicopter that you're most familiar with. You can use the default flight simulator helicopters. You don't need to purchase neither this one or the Miltech MH-60, but let me tell you, it will be very handy to have such complex helicopters. It's a very complex, when they're very complex missions, you want a trustworthy helicopter. That's it. That's it from me, guys. If you like what you saw, remember, leave a like, subscribe, donate. Everything helps this channel to grow. I'll be making more videos. Next time we'll get back to airliners. I really want to go back to airliners. I love helicopters, but I want to fly a bit more these helicopters offline so I can learn them better for you guys. And I don't want to half-bake stuff. And today it kind of felt like that, and I apologize. It was my bad. I flew the AS-365, which is a very different panel, different helicopter altogether, even though it flies the same. My keybinds were all gone for some reason, and yeah, there's some stuff that you guys need to read first in the manual. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm going to go through it again before I get returned to this helicopter. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Drexy. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Dinesh, for coming. You guys rock. You're the reason I'm still around. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, I don't know. Like I said in the last stream, I'm making a little pause from the A220. I want to see the fix they're planning to release tomorrow. Tomorrow I will not be streaming. I need to do something tomorrow, so I'll not be streaming, but I will be streaming on Wednesday for a change, so see you then. And I'll think about it. I'll probably bring back one of those airliners I don't fly that much. Maybe I'll go back to the Fokker. I only made a couple of flights in the Fokker. Maybe I'll fly the Fokker next, just because it's a great plane. See you guys next time. Getting ready to spread my wings with you guys. See you next time. Remember, the sun is always bright upstairs. Bye-bye.
The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding words